So I want to get into micro-targeting. I guess with the first place we can start is just by creating a new ad. And I want to show you one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of advertisers make, at least a lot of people that either bring me on to try to help them with their ad campaign, and I'll go in and take a look. And we'll take the baseball market as an example here. So I'll go in, we'll make an ad for Train Baseball. Destination, we'll choose the new tab and say, you have to see this new hitting drill. So obviously we choose a different image and all that stuff. So this is just an example. So they'll go in, choose United States. They'll go in and say, whatever their age is, men or women, and then they'll go into the interests. Well, one of the first things, again, we're talking about micro-targeting, so we really want to not waste a single ad dollar. And this is, if you're kind of starting out and you don't have a lot of money to drop on this at first, or to test it, and you really need to hit a home run right away, or at least know without a shadow of a doubt right away that your ad is going to convert, so you know if you want to move forward or not, this is how you have to do it. You can't go on here and have a new baseball product and just say baseball and expect that that product is going to sell, or going to sell as fast as you would want it to. Again, because if we're not really targeting other than everyone in the US that likes baseball, and we say anyone, we'll wait for this thing to load up, that 3,600,000 people, if you're inexperienced in Facebook ads, you'll think, wow, that's incredible, I'm going to put my ad in front of 3,600,000 people. Well, there's a problem here, because if 3,600,000 people click your ad, and obviously you have the ad budget to save you and all that, but hypothetically, if your ad budget was unlimited, so for just demonstration purposes, basically, if 3.6 million people click that ad, you're going to be broke, and you're probably not going to sell a whole lot of product. Granted, in that 3.6 million, there are probably someone who wants your product. So let's just say you have a product for specifically baseball players. It's a book that a young baseball player needs to get into, to make his JV team. He's an 8th grader, 9th grader, and he wants to make his JV team. And this book does no good in a high schooler's hands. It does no good in a college player's hands. It does no good for a coach or a parent to have. So again, that 3.6 million, that has baseball coaches, baseball parents, high school players, college players, and a few 8th grade, 9th grade players that you want to have your book. So obviously, again, we want to go down, and this is where a lot of people will start. They'll say, okay, 8th and 9th graders are 13 to 14, so I'm done. I have 13 to 14-year-old people who love baseball. 1.2 million. That's fantastic. That's 1.2 million people who absolutely have to have my product. But again, just because someone says they like baseball doesn't mean they play baseball. And so a lot of people will have these broad keywords like this, and they won't really realize that, there's probably a 13 and 14-year-old group of kids who just like baseball, who never played it in their life, who like watching it, who their favorite player is Cal Ripken or somebody like that, and they like going to the games, or their dad used to play it or something. It doesn't mean they play baseball now or they want your product. So even this targeted down, the US 13 to 14 who likes baseball, is not going to convert as well as it could. Granted, it might convert, and it might do well, but it's not going to convert as well as you think. So what a lot of people start doing is they'll start adding everything that's baseball related. Baseball Tonight, baseball games, baseballs, baseball film, baseball almanac, fantasy baseball, Major League, Moneyball, Bull Durham, playing baseball. And they'll add all these keywords in, and the list will go on and on and on. And then look, now I'm up to 1.24 million people. And again, they get all excited, and they think that, Facebook's going to solve all their problems because they can reach 1.2 million people that want their product. But what I'm trying to tell you here is you want to look for keywords that absolutely mean that person is a qualified prospect for your product. So this is what I would do. That's what I would do right there. I would have just playing baseball or baseball player. So I'd copy this to see if there's any more keywords, choose baseball player, paste it back in baseball players. Nope, that's not related. So this is what I would stick with. 56,580 baseball players who are in the 8th or ninth grade who live in the United States. That is targeted. Those kids are the ones that you want to reach, at least at first. And remember, this is not, this isn't a long-term thing that you are going to keep forever. Not to say you'll never find any more than 56,000 people, but that's a pretty darn good start. If you had an email list of 56,000 people, would you be making a little bit more money than you are now? My guess is you probably would be. And if you sold 56,000 units of whatever you're trying to sell, my guess is you'd have a good chunk of change in your hands to go back in here and then go in and advertise to people that just like baseball and then test and see how that 1 million people converts. But for now, if you're getting started, make sure you're going to win. And by making sure you're going to win is by going after the people that you need to go after, that you can guarantee they would be the first ones to be in line for your product anyway. So, that's how you kind of have to think about it. Who would be standing in line first for your product? So, you have to get your mind kind of wrapped around that and to just make sure to guarantee that you're going to have a winner, because that is how you're going to know if you have a winning offer or not. Then you can come back and kind of go broad and start adding more keywords. But this is how I would approach it. I would do baseball player, baseball players, and playing baseball. And I would stick to this 56,000. And then you can actually talk to these people in your ads. So you would say, baseball player, are you a baseball player? Check out this new, or you want to make a promise in here. It's always a good idea. So new hitting drill adds 50 feet to every ball I hit. Here's how, or something like that. We'll have a section later on about good ads and stuff that really works. But now you have just called that person out. You know for a fact he's a baseball player and that he likes playing baseball. So you're going to say that in your ad, or you're going to say it up here in your copy. If you're going to send it to, again, we'll go back and say external URL, and I would just send it to trainbaseball.com. I'd put a landing page on there. So I could even say it on here, right at the top of the ad, and then save this down here for whatever I'm going to give them. And we'd have a nice little image in there too that guarantees that it's going to be something that they see. So again, this is really how you want to lay it out, because by doing it this way, you have the chance to call out the exact person that you're looking for. So, and again, by calling out the exact person you're looking for, you're pretty much guaranteeing that that's going to be the first person. You're guaranteeing that you're going to have a profitable campaign if you have an offer that converts. So if anyone's going to buy your product, it's going to be these baseball players, according to you, according to the campaign you set up and all of that. So, really, the next lesson that we're going to go into is the difference between CPM and CPC, paying per impression or paying per click. And one of the things we'll talk about there is what gets your cost per click down. So if you want to kind of see a couple of my campaigns, this is one of my actual campaigns in the baseball market. And look, this is my lifetime stats. I'm not hiding anything here. This is a campaign I ran for a little while and spent $3,000, and the average click-through rate was 0.1%. And granted, that's what you shoot for per ad, and you're going to have some losers and some winners. But if you look all of these ads up here are above 0.1%. This one was 0.4%, 0.3%, 0.25, 0.21, 241, and look at these cost per clicks: 5 cents, 8 cents, 22 cents, 15 cents, 18 cents, 20 cents. They're really, really low, and you'll get a feel for how expensive some of these ads can be, especially when your ad's not performing. I mean, look how expensive this gets. For this ad down here that just bombed, it was 0.03%, and my average cost per click was over triple what it was overall for my entire campaign. I mean, if you look at the difference between this ad here that just crushed it, 5 cents per click, and then this ad is 58 cents, and it's directly related to your cost or your click-through rate. If you have a bunch of people clicking it like this one, when 1,000 people saw this, 2 people clicked, and when 1,000 people saw this, 0.0 or 0.3 people clicked. So 1/3. It took 3,000 people to see this. So Facebook's going to charge you more for an ad that stinks because they need to make their money back. For this ad, they can afford to let me show it all day at 5 cents a click because so many people click it. It's such a popular ad to run. So that's really, I want to get 2 benefits across. When you go in here and you call out people like this and say, are you a baseball player? You are guaranteeing that when they see this ad, they are most likely going to resonate with that ad, connect with that ad, and click it if you have a good ad set up like I showed you before. So by guaranteeing that you're going to target the right people, you're really, really making sure that you're going to have a high click-through rate, which in turn is going to let your costs go way down. It's going to make sure that you have the lowest cost per click possible, and you're going to be able to have the most profitable campaign. So again, when you're doing things at first, you really just want to make sure that you're not wasting money on ads that aren't targeted to the right people. If you're just having baseball in here and targeting anybody in the world that likes baseball, you're going to be wasting your money because you're going to get an ad that only applies to this percentage of the baseball market anyway, which is going to mean you're going to be paying 58 cents per click. And if you're paying 58 cents a click, you're going to have to make sure that within 250 clicks, you're profiting or you're netting more than $156 in sales, $146 in sales. That's pretty much what that means. So if you look at the difference, this campaign up here, I got 1,000 people through my funnel that clicked on that ad, and I only spent $52. On a normal campaign, when I got 1,000 people through, if that 1,000 people gave me 300 emails, of those 300 emails, I most likely made 30 sales. 30 sales at, I'm trying to remember what the price of the product was. Let's just say the product was $10. 30 sales at $10 is $300 in sales. So I spent $52 and I made $300, and I just cut the price of my product in a third. So, think about it if you had a higher ticket product, and those were kind of your numbers, and those were the numbers that I was getting in the baseball market. So again, this ad up here with a really high click-through rate, I made $250. You go down to this ad down here, if 250 emails or 250 clicks that cost me $150, let's just say 250 clicks got me, let's see, we can say, 50 emails. Just say I got 50 emails from that, or even, let's just say 100 emails. Let's just say I got a higher percentage here. So I get 100 emails. Of those 100 emails, I'm hoping to make 10 sales. At $10 a piece is $100 in revenue. So I just lost $46 because my ad sucked and I didn't target it right. So targeting your ad right, or targeting your ad wrong, and targeting your ad the right way up here, it completely turns around Facebook for you. You could be doing this the entire, completely wrong way, and for the rest of your life you'll have a bad taste in your mouth for Facebook ads when the rest of the world is doing it the right way and profiting on Facebook and buying all the traffic they can get. And that's the boat I'm in, and that's where I want you to get. And really it starts by making use of this likes and interests the right way. And the right way to do it is micro-targeting. So, I really hope that helps. I want you to really see that I'm showing you my campaign here and that this really is real world stuff. It's not something that you just go in and, just kind of wing it and see what happens. You have to make sure you're doing it the right way, or you could be turning yourself off to one of the most powerful ad platforms on the planet. So again, let that kind of sink in a little bit. We'll go into the next one and talk about CPM versus CPC.